double.
Weapon pad in 10 seconds.
And that's a triple. Oh, good shoot. You're on a roll. Red team nearing victory.
Talks vs. Reciprocity Game 5 Grand Finals in last weekend's HCS 2K, which unfortunately was not streamed by the official Halo channel, so if you missed it, one of the best places to check it out is Frosty's Twitch, who, if you didn't already know, is rebuilding our poor, crippled Halo community one snowman at a time. So give this man a sub. I've linked his Twitch in the description of this video. You can watch this match in its entirety from his perspective, and it's still pretty damn hype, but today we are going to start right here, 30-30 on the scoreboard. It has been neck and neck. It's been a brawl up until this point, and soon the momentum is going to shift in the favor of Talks. No doubt in part due to whatever Lxthul had for dinner that night, because he is lasering people through walls somehow. But how did he get the sniper? What transpired that led to a 50-41 scoreline? That's what we're going to figure out today. Let's kick it off. Like I said, it's been a brawl, and the brawl continues with both teams clashing in the center of the map, looking to take control of Ring 2 and Ring 3 so they can use that high ground to apply pressure to the spawners in the rocks who have limited options available. As we can see, Snakebite on Ring 3, Lxthul on Ring 2, Saiyan on Ring 1. We've got Joey Trippy on the jump up to Ring 2, and Eric Snipedown is going to make the smart decision to push over to Ring 1 into the red bonfire, the doorway to Ring 1, which is smart because he could challenge Frosty, go up to the silenced pistol and challenge Frosty, but that's what Frosty wants him to do. Frosty has the sniper rifle. He has the advantage. He's looking for an angle, and unfortunately he can't find one because so much of the action is happening in the center of the map. As we can see, even Ola chooses not to bite here. Smart from Ola to push up with Trippy. They're going to collapse on PJ and take him out, and as we can see, Frosty getting a little impatient at this point. Matt has been applying pressure to Saiyan, who's on the jump up right now, and Frosty, seeing that, can dive in and finish him off with a beautiful no-scope right there. Well, in the meantime, Royal 2 is jumping over his head off of the jump up to go up to Ring 3, so now they're all pressuring in the center of the map. Frosty, unfortunately missing the jump, is going to get knocked down by Snipedown and then taken out by Ola, and we'll see Royal 2 try to pick up the pieces as Ola grabs the sniper and retreats. He's going to instead jump up and take him out, cut him off from this angle. He goes down, and we can see Trippy, who takes damage, is going to try to fly away with the sniper, but Snakebite spawning up in the hut with the spawns being influenced on the hut side of the map. He's going to get that kill and finish him off. So a lot happening at this point. Let's go back to Frosty's initial push with that no-scope, which was amazing, but having a good shot is one thing, but there's two things that Frosty does to really have some success in this situation. He slides in, and this slide, he's not sliding into the center of the doorway and revealing himself, you know, to a variety of angles from players who could be on Ring 2, Ring 3, wherever. Instead, he's sliding specifically to this point and only revealing as much as he needs to reveal so that he can land that shot while being under cover. He also makes sure to position his reticle as much as he possibly can while he's sliding in, so it's the easiest possible reaction for him to get that no-scope. Two things you need to apply are those two things right there. Even if your shot isn't good, if you line things up correctly, you can improve your chances substantially. So he hits the shot. Notice how he even goes to the right side cover if he's going to look to the wall on the left. So always making sure he has that easily available exit, that cover available so he can take advantage of it, is something very smart that Frosty will always do. So he, unfortunately, missing his jump, as we can see, is going to go down. Now, Royal 2 is very smart here because he lands a shot and immediately notices he is not going to win this if he chases him. This is such a difficult place to be in this map because there's so much open space. There is no easily available exit, so he immediately turns around to go back to the jump up and luckily gets to cut him off as he tries to escape through the center of the map here. So very smart from Royal 2 cutting that player off, and then cancels his reload animation with a nade. Remember, you can do that. He was reloading, notices a player is there, but decides, I'm going to throw a nade, apply that pressure, force Trippy to back off, and then Snakebite, conveniently spawning behind him, takes him out. He's going to go down. The sniper's on the floor, and now it's in position for Lxthul to pick it up. Let's see what Lxthul did to get there. Lxthul spawns up in the red rocks, influenced by Royal 2 at this point, who had changed his mind, gone up to the jump up to ring 2 to cut off Ola, who had picked up the sniper, is now rotating it around to the Bond, and you'll see he pushes up, he sees Snipe Down, thinks Snipe Down's not going to pressure, and then he does, so now he's forced to commit to bottom mid, and it's smart that he commits as fast as he does. In a situation like this, if somebody gets first shots on you, you are completely out in the open. You need to sprint jump thrust your way to easily available exit as fast as you can, so it's smart that he gets out of there very quickly, makes it out, and then Royal 2 is going to help pressure Trippy, knock him back with that grenade. Now he can jump up. He does an awkward thrust forward and then takes free damage, but he does manage to survive, pushes around to the base. The three of them can collapse and take out Saiyan, who's alone at this point. Now he can turn back around and grab the sniper, and this is so much more than just an individual skill play. There's a huge macro element to this as well that is so intelligent from the side of Lxthul. You can see 3 players on Reciprocity have spawned in the hut side of the map. They're pushing up to ring to take advantage of the center of the map here, whereas the other 3 teammates on Tox are pushing from the left side, and they're going to clash in the center of the map. So they spawned up left side hut, they're pushing around the left. So Lxthul knows that instead of backing up to the hut and getting an angle from a hut, it's better that he backs up to his base and controls the entire right lane of the map with his sightline with the sniper rifle, because that clash in the center of the map is going to force Reciprocity to stay right where they are, and by being on the right side of the map, he has beautiful sightlines to search and destroy and take out all 4 of the opposing players. You'll see he snaps onto Ola, and remember, as a sniper, you never want to have your reticle just sitting in dead space in between walls. You always want to be thinking of all available locations that you can take out opposing players. He snaps it back onto the Bond immediately after, gets a beautiful double, and now moves his angle over to get that triple as well on the jump up, and we have 1 more player. And this is insane. It makes absolutely no freaking sense, because you'll see right here as I zoom in, he clearly shot a bullet through the wall. Mansley got x-ray vision, but what I think it actually is, I think it's a glitch in the theater mode. This is one of many things that I kind of find annoying about theater, unfortunately, is just bullet registration doesn't always look realistic. I guarantee it didn't go through a wall. I think he actually shot him legitimately, but because of theater mode, we can't see how it actually looked. It honestly looks insane. Like, look at this shot, man. Like, I would love to see this. Why isn't Lxthul streaming? This is a robot shot. He fucking robot just snapped onto him and took him out. I don't even know how to explain exactly what he did. It was so fast and so precise. So I wish I could have seen that in real time on his live stream. We didn't have the theater mode messing things up, but that's not even the worst thing about all of this. The worst thing is the fact that Ola got taken out there. He shouldn't have been taken out there. He actually had a beautiful spawn. You'll see Ola spawned up on the hut here, and with this spawn, he spawned right beside an available sniper rifle. I don't know why he didn't decide to pick it up, but you'll see I'll change the camera angle here. In 3 seconds, the sniper is spawning up in the blue hut right beside him, and there is no red team player in position to pick it up immediately. He is in position to grab a free sniper rifle, and I'm not sure why he didn't at least try to grab it and take out a kill or rally it or some way, anything, because instead he's going to regroup with his teammates. And in a map like this, hut control is so important. If you can grab sniper and you can get hut control, you can gain such an advantage over the opposing team. So I think this is not a good move from Pistola here, who obviously is a much better player than I am, a much wiser player. He's the wizard, but man's just flying his way over to the rocks here and gets completely punished as a result. And now the sniper's going to come up, and you can see, because of the fact that he wasn't there to block the spawns are now forcing, you know, Matt to spawn right beside it instead, and now Royal 2 has an easy opportunity to get it. In the meantime, Lxthul decides to change his mind and not grab the sniper. He lets Royal 2, the dedicated sniper on the team, pick it up, and now he gets it for free, and Lxthul can push up and do all of this damage. Now, during the time that this is happening, there's 2 beautiful things that are taking place in the map. There's a 1v1 right here between Trippy and Frosty that is absolutely insane. Frosty is going to win a 1v1 with Trippy and the Rockets, which we are going to see in a second. And then if you look all the way through, there's PJ. Snakebite somehow made his way all the way to the opposing hut to take on the sniper rifle from the other side of the map so they can control both sides of the map. He's being pressured in a 2v1. We're going to look at both of these instances, starting with Frosty. While Lxthl's taking advantage of Ola with wall hacks, Frosty is going to spawn up in the rocks and take initiative and push up on a 1v1 with Trippy, who has the rockets. That's super risky. Last thing you want to do is be sprinting. In this instance, he's going to sneak up and walk so he's off the radar. You'll see the moment he sees Trippy with rockets, he thrusts forward, dick punches him, and somehow manages to survive, which is absolutely insane. The biggest thing to pay attention to in an instance like this, if you're facing somebody with the rocket launcher, you want to try to close the distance between yourself and the opponent with the rockets as quickly as possible. If he was to jump thrust backwards, jump thrust to the left, and widen that distance, it would be so easy for Trippy to stay confident and take him out with a rocket. But in this instance, by pushing up and by closing that distance very quickly, it's startling for Trippy, and it forces him into a situation where he may have to hurt himself to kill you. So what does he do? Does he melee you? Is he going to fire the shot? Is he going to switch weapons? Try to force that battle as close as possible so you limit the options that the opponent has with the rocket launcher, especially in a situation like this. So he manages to jump, melee him, punch him, survive long enough for Lxthul to come in and land that final shot and take him out, which is insane. That's a huge play because it gives them center map control, and then he can force a push into the red hut here, which is crazy. Snakebite managing to stay alive long enough to allow that push to happen. Now there's one insane thing that happens here that just is so bullshit, and honestly, if I was Trippy, I would be so tilted if I was Trippy in this instance. Okay, the first rocket, he missed, okay? He missed the first rocket, that's fine. But the second rocket, I don't know. You guys be the judge. You tell me if you think Frosty should be dead here. Remember, Frosty lost about a quarter of his shields, but look at this rocket, okay? There is no way in hell that this makes sense. If I was Trippy, I would be so fucking mad. What is this? What is this, dude? I can't even see anything. There's so much explosion. And he lives. That is bull. That is insane. I have no idea how he lived there. Like, I don't know if it's theater mode making it out to be bigger than it is, but it looks like a nuke hit the center of the map and Frosty was right in it and he just lived. So if I was Trippy, I'd be super pissed. But Frosty staying alive, adding the pressure. Now let's see how Snakebite did making his way over to that hut by himself. Snakebite is someone who knows how to make heads-up, high-awareness plays, and this one is a game changer. You'll see Lxthul, after he lands that beautiful triple kill, he's just wiped 3 players off the map. Snakebite spawns up beside him on the rocks, and Snakebite, knowing that the players on the opposing team are on spawn, and knowing that 2 snipers are about to spawn up on both of the huts in 5 seconds, instead of playing passive and staying in his rocks, maybe working with Lxthul, maybe pushing over to his hut to grab the sniper, or pushing to top mid, he is going for total map domination. He is flying to the opposing team's hut and trying to control all the power points on the map as quickly as possible. This is so huge, so important, because if you can do this, if you can control both sides snipers, they already know they have the other sniper for free. If they control both of these, they force the spawns in the rocks on both sides of the map, the worst place for the opposing team to spawn, and they have all of the power and all of the control. So this is huge from Snakebite. But remember, he is not necessarily trying to win sniper here. What he's trying to do, his primary objective, is to delay, is to stay alive as long as possible and to delay the opportunity for the opposing team to grab the sniper while his team makes the rotation around to collapse in. You'll see there's a 1v1 currently happening between Frosty and Trippy. We know how that one goes. Well, in the meantime, the free sniper on the side of the blue is being given to Royal 2, and him and Lxthul are going to rally together and start to rotate around. So Snakebite, his objective is to delay, to stay alive as long as possible. Doesn't go for the sniper because there's a nade there. He lands beautiful nade onto Snipe Down. A Snipe Down over challenges a second time and didn't need to. He's going to die, and now it's just Saiyan versus Snakebite. Snakebite being here, this is the best place for him to be standing. Saiyan, who had decided to wrap around the other way, it's perfect that he's here, and you'll see the rotation is now happening. The 3 players are now flying around from the other side, forcing the spawns into the blue rocks now behind it, and if they can quickly collapse around to this hut, they will now control both snipers at the same time, and all of the power is in the control of Tox. So far, Snakebite has done his job. He has completely killed it, staying alive here. Now, he could have stayed alive a little bit longer. This one is his fault. I don't think he needed to push into the hallway here. By doing this, it's hard for anybody to help him, so he'll push up, and Saiyan lands a beautiful no-scope, switches out to a pistol, takes him out, but regardless, the damage is done. Frosty dives in, can take out Saiyan. He's going to go down. He's going to get collapsed on with Lxthul and give the rest of the sniper ammo to Lxthul. Now Lxthul has ammo and Royal 2 has a sniper as well. You'll see Royal 2 is going to go down, but regardless, that's such a huge play for Snakebite because it allows them to have control of that side of the map, control of these power points, and now you'll see these players, for whatever reason, are in the red side rocks. They've wrapped around the red side rocks, and if you'll see in a second, Royal 2, who jumps up to the jump up right over here, he's going to make a crazy play on the players just kind of sitting in rocks. Players are also spawning up in blue. They continue to collapse into the red hut here, and now you'll see they're in the rocks, the blue rocks. Snipe Down's in there. Ola's going to spawn in blue rocks as well, and Royal 2 flies in from above and collapses on the final two players, and at this point, it's 49 to 41. So huge play from Snakebite, staying alive in that hut and allowing control of both sides of the map, maintaining control of both snipers, completely changed the game in this scenario. It was such a heads-up play. If you have an opportunity to go for the opposing team's hut, you go for it. You go for total map domination. Not only was it brilliant that Snakebite rotated around and delayed, allowing his team to collapse and conquer, somehow Tox manages to win the second round of Slays as well. If you remember, Royal 2 was in a great vantage point, jumping down from ring 3, landing on top of the rocks, taking out 2 more players on rocks and setting it to 49-41. Now there's a few contributing factors to why this happened, and I think this is one of them. Snipe Down spawned up in the blue hut. You'll see right now the red hut, they're all collapsing in on the red hut. The Tox players are spawning up on red rocks. They're flying into red hut to continue to collapse. They want to win over these sniper rifles, take advantage of these power weapons. Snipe Down spawns alone in the blue hut, and he notices that these players are flying over through the rocks to collapse. So he decides that he's going to turn and run over to the blue rocks and get an angle and help take out these players. Now, in theory, it makes sense. He flies in, he manages to get an angle, he can help take out PJ, and by being here, he's also going to influence the spawn so that Ola spawns in the blue rocks as well. But by both being in the rocks, it's not the greatest vantage point to stay alive. It gives Royal 2 an opportunity to jump on top of them, dive in, and take both of them out for free. You'll see he's now above Ola, and Ola has no ideas that he's there. He's going to drop down, take him out as well. Now, did things need to go like that? Did Snipe Down need to fly his way over into the blue rocks and take that specific angle to help his team? I'm not sure if that was the best way of action. There are a couple alternatives. Here's one of them. Here's my POV standing in the same general location that Snipe Down was standing in when he recognized that players were flying through the rocks to the opposing team's hut. Now, seeing this, he decided to go over to his rocks on the left and get an angle so he could take out these players, but in the process, the entire Reciprocity team ended up being on the floor of the map in front of the Bond, and then Ola spawning behind him in the rocks, giving Royal 2 the easy opportunity with his high ground to jump down and collapse on these players. So what if instead Snipe Down had a way of getting to ring 3 super quickly and pressuring from above? Because that is totally possible from this position. You can use a super jump. If you don't know what that is, I talk about it in a previous video. I've linked the video in the description below. It explains exactly how to do it. I'm not going to explain it here, but here it is. From this location, super jump, grab the bridge above you, and then you can crouch jump up here. You get up to ring 3, and in 2 seconds, I am on ring 3. I have an angle over so much of the map. I can toss a nade down to the jump up, toss a second nade over the bridge, whatever. Maybe I don't even have to be this aggressive, but it has given me an opportunity to take a much higher vantage point to take advantage of the battle that's happening in the hut, and maybe that would influence the spawns in a slightly different location, and maybe Ola wouldn't really be trapped out in the open in the rocks, or maybe because he's up there, he could challenge Royal 2, and Royal 2 wouldn't be jumping down over to Ola, and Ola would have a chance to cross from the rocks if he spawns up in the rocks. Either way, it would have changed things up, and I think it would have changed things in the favor of Reciprocity, because it's better to be on a higher point of elevation than it would be to be in the rocks. But you guys let me know what you think. Obviously, Snipe Down knows how to do this stuff, and it's hard in the moment to take advantage of all of these opportunities. It's hard to know what's correct, especially in a situation like this where Reciprocity was doing so well and things started to fall apart. So Royal 2 falls down from the heavens and destroys 2 players in the process on the rocks, and now it's 49 to 41, and unfortunately, I don't think Reciprocity has it in them anymore, or at least Trippy doesn't, because he spawns in the rocks by himself. The last thing he wants to do is solo push his way over to the red hut. If anything, he wants to back up and stay alive with his teammates, but it's a lost cause, and Trippy knows that. He's going to fly over to the wall she spot and punch the wall and die from a free nade in the process, and that closes out an unfortunate ending to an otherwise very close, very intense series. Anybody could have taken it, but It was some of those exceptional plays from Tox that really just solidified the victory. Just Snakebite rotating around and taking advantage of that opportunity to control both of the huts. If you can control both of the huts and both the snipers in this map, the destruction that you can do when you're forcing players to spawn in the rocks, that is so huge. So it's so amazing that they managed to take advantage of that. And Lxthul playing insane. I have not seen snipes like that in a long time. I mean, I don't really get to see his gameplay anymore because he's not streaming anymore, but this man is shooting lasers through walls, so insane gameplay from Lxthul as well. What do you guys think? Hopefully the video was engaging and informative. What are your insights? Anything that you would like to provide? What do you think of the plays and the information that I provided? And I'm always open to discussion about the topic. Remember guys, I wouldn't consider myself a pro on macro knowledge in this game. I'm very micro focused. As far as macro, I actually have a huge shout out to Callous. Callous is the macro mastermind that sits down with me and records, or we analyze these films together before I make the video, and Callous always has amazing insights to provide and really helps me gain some macro insights to apply to this video. So big shout out to Callous. Definitely follow him. I've linked his links, his Twitter and his links, his YouTube as well in the description below. And he also sits down with teams, aspiring HCS teams, and coaches you to success. So he has so much to provide for the community. I highly recommend you check him out. And I got one more shout out to OFSReagle. That guy is awesome. If you haven't noticed, I've got some new thumbnail pictures for my videos. I've got a logo coming up. I've got banners and overlays for my stream coming up because I know I need to stream, and OFSReagle has been doing an amazing job creating all of that content for me. So big shout outs to him. I have linked his Twitter and his YouTube. He has a Halo YouTube as well, and he gives personal coaching, personal lessons on jumps and trick jumps. So the micro of the game. So micro, macro, and you got me. You've got all the resources you would need at your disposal to conquer in Halo 5. So thank you guys for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell beside the subscribe button. Keep in touch with everything as soon as it comes out. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, located in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good night.